Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Token Metrics Livestream. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, whether the market goes up or down, subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so you know when we go live, particularly with all the wild things going on in the world. I'm joined today by my colleague, Michael. Michael, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Bill? How's it going, everyone?
All right, let's see who's on the stream. Let's see what's going on. We've got Aiken is here. We've got Jerry Connell from Birmingham. Welcome. Taz is here. Yo, Spain. Okay, wrong again. India is here, along with Montreal. All right, Indiana, Luxembourg. Okay, Virginia is here. Riverside, California. Kentucky loves us. The Caribbean. Tanzania, Michael. Welcome. San Jose, California, Houston, East Africa, Peru, Brussels, Austin, Texas. It's freezing. Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, it is cold in Texas. Hopefully the internet holds up here so I can keep bringing you, along with Michael and the rest of Token Metrics, the best information possible. Okay. Mind Free from the UK is here. Welcome, along with London and Colombia. Now, I did see somebody throw in an LFG down there, and I can feel that LFG. Matter of fact, every day that I wake up and ETH's not down 10%, it's a good day, right? Because there's so much fear in the markets. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the market update, and then me and Mike are going to talk about a lot of things, especially Immutable X, right? We've been talking about it on the show, and I was, discussing what happens when coins go from controlled by the bears to controlled by the bulls. This is quite the example. And I'm going to show you how this is going to translate out from both the market update and from the conversation that me and Mike are going to have. So don't go anywhere. All right, let's start off with the screen share and do your market update. Fear, period. Moon, period. Okay. Everybody thinks the market could go down or should go down. It could. But what happens if it doesn't? In other words, it's going to be a shitty, choppy week. We already know that. So I guess if you get the big discount, great. All right. But what happens after the fear? Or what happens in crypto after they realize that some of the things that are scary in legacy might actually benefit crypto? Have I had too much Kool-Aid? Did I drink Kool-Aid for breakfast? Or do I have a whole bunch of cool charts? I vote for I have a whole bunch of cool charts. So let's start with Facebook, right? The legacy fear deck. So this is Facebook on a 2-week chart. Facebook's down 20% today because their earnings were awful. All right. And I sort of looked at it and I was like, well, no shit, Facebook's earnings were awful. You think the people inside Facebook didn't see this coming? Do you think? Really? That's why they pivoted to the Metaverse. So, all right, Facebook's earnings come out. That's a big disappointment. And the dummies are selling a giant Metaverse company at the bottom of a linear regression band down 20%. It didn't pay to sell Facebook in 2018 or 2020 down here. And I'm just wondering why everyone in legacy decided to all get bearish the Metaverse, because earnings sucked on a social media platform that only senior citizens use. What I'm trying to show you is There's distorted thinking out there. People haven't figured out what the real trade is. Now, the good news is you're here because we're going to figure out what the big trade is, right? You don't have to be right every day. You just have to be right on the big bottoms. And that's what I'm trying to find. All right. So let's keep going. Our friend Vladimir Putin, right? He is flying big Russian bombers over England. And the English scrambled jets to intercept the plane. And I guess Mr. Putin has forgotten about that in World War II, London was actually getting attacked every day. So I'm sure the English citizens are like, wow, Vladdy, this is kind of funny. You with your one plane stunt. We'll be at the pub. Let us know when you're done. Okay. Now, jokes aside, a Russian military incursion into the Ukraine may be smaller than people think. They may just roll tanks across the border and then show pictures of, Russian-speaking Ukrainian citizens welcoming Russian troops. I don't think it's World War III. Matter of fact, I think it's kind of the opposite. It may wind up being a CNN photo op, at least in the short term. Putin is probably trying to force a political solution and prevent NATO from putting nuclear weapons on his border. Honestly, can you blame him? Okay, even if that assessment is incorrect, a big Russian move into the Ukraine may be a March or May phenomenon. So Vladimir Putin is not a nice guy, but, that doesn't mean that his enemies or his adversaries are necessarily nice too, right? I just don't think this World War III thing that's being built up in the Western media is accurate, right? And I don't think it's a reason to dump crypto, all right? So until shooting actually starts, there might be some shooting, right? But again, if there's shooting and it's not World War III, what's the next trade? Down or up? I think it's up. Honestly, yeah, people will freak out initially. But if you're in crypto and you've got capital, right, and you've been listening to the deep dive for the deep dip, this guy may give you the opportunity of the year in crypto. All right, let's talk about the next fear trade. You're like, there's more fear trade? Yeah, there's like Facebook, there's Russia. Okay. So, Facebook, don't sell the metaverse, down 20%. Putin, take him seriously, but not literally. And then there's European interest rates. Okay, so for everyone who lives in Europe, you know what's happening at the grocery store and at the gas pump. And you probably know what's also going on with your electric bill. Now, that's started to affect European bond markets, right? Inflation up, interest rates up, usually long-term interest rates. Now, to make a long story short, the European Central Bank can't do what the Fed, they can't raise rates. And here's why. Because the European Central Bank, to save Europe, particularly the weaker countries economically, they essentially had to buy all the government bonds, all of them, in Europe. Italy, Germany, they just bought them all. They bought everything to the point where interest rates were negative. What does that mean? Well, that means instead of you giving your money to a DeFi protocol and them giving you coins and 7% interest, you have to give them coins to hold your money. Like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, but that's the way it's been in Europe. But guess what? This morning, that just changed. Okay, interest rates in Europe went from 0.03 to 0.14. You're like, well, that's not a lot. Okay, well, let's put it in altcoin terms. If you had an altcoin at 3 cents and you woke up the next day and it was at 14 cents, how would you feel? You'd be like, wow, that's a really big move. I'm like, yeah, that's how you look at what's going on in the European bond market. Now, what does this have to do with crypto? Well, I don't know. If I was running a central bank and I bought all these bonds and interest rates started going up and my entire portfolio of my central bank was underwater, I'd be like, I'm starting to lose money here. I'm getting worried. How about we buy some Bitcoin? In other words, Bitcoin isn't doing much. Bitcoin could go down. There really isn't a great chart read. It doesn't look like you want to run in and buy it. But the story of the European interest rate situation is what's going to happen the day that it's announced that a central bank, I'm not talking about El Salvador, okay? Nothing against those brave guys for doing it. But I'm talking about a big player like the Swiss central bank announces that they're coming in and they're going to start buying Bitcoin, right? Central bank balance sheets, they've got assets on them that they're not doing well. So ask yourself this question. What happens if governments start buying Bitcoin, right? One of the ways you want to play the market is when everybody is thinking about fear. That doesn't mean you want to FOMO in, but you want to think differently from other people so that you can make the most money, right? You can be there ahead of them. What happens if central banks, because of inflation and bond market disasters, start buying Bitcoin? Now let's talk about inflation. So this is the next thing that everyone is afraid of for good reason. Once upon a time when they would teach inflation and technical analysis of commodities, because technical analysis actually started for commodities, because people in equities thought technical analysis was a joke, right? So most of the technical analysis community, when I started in financial markets, was focused on commodity and currencies. Currently, the CRB index, all right, which is available on TradingView, all right, shows that old school pattern from reminiscence of a stock operator. Now, it may be tough to see on the chart. I'm going to focus in a minute, but essentially the CRB index has been making an accumulation cone. This formation comes from the diary of a famous trader, Jesse Livermore, that was turned into a fictional book. So commodities may continue to go up. If commodities continue to go up, you have to start to ask yourself, will digital commodities become a part of this rally? This structure shows commodities can continue to go up. Now, maybe it's a top, but this is the CRB chart zoomed in, right? So as this whole inflation fear trade picks up, so keep in mind, on February 10th, the U.S. Consumer Price Index comes out, right? Now, that's probably not going to be a good number because look at the price of soybeans. This is soybeans for delivery in May, right? Soybean prices are up, 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 up because Russia stopped exporting fertilizer, okay? Fertilizer prices go up, crop prices go up. Now, today's the February 3rd, so that means we may have 3 to 6 days of El Succo price action because everybody's afraid of the inflation number. Well, what happens when the inflation number is done? So it prints, it's either good or not good. You know, food prices are going higher. Central banks can't stop that. Everyone gets upset. And then maybe somebody goes, what about digital commodities? What about Bitcoin and Ethereum and NFTs and Metaverse land? How about that? Why the hell is everybody selling? Silly, right? Okay. A little economics. So let's pretend that everything I just said didn't make any sense, even though I think it does, right? Don't sell Metaverse down 20%, right? Don't be too afraid of war, right? Central banks may have to start buying Bitcoin, and commodities are going up, and that may include digital commodities. But I'll do you one better. Here's an easier one. It's an old-fashioned idea from economics. Commodities up, dollar down. right? In other words, people either want stuff or paper. This is the way it was before crypto, right? You have two choices, stuff or paper, right? When everyone wants stuff, that would be beans, oil, gold, commodities, cattle, whatever. Commodities up, stuff up, dollar down, right? DXY is getting hammered, right? Now that's being helped by the British pound. The Bank of England is raising rates. But for crypto, everyone's like, oh, I'm selling, I'm bearish, I'm worried. Folks, the dollar's going lower. Commodities up, dollar down actually benefits crypto. Now, yes, if the stock market crashes and everyone gets hysterical, but let's look past the hysterics, right? The dollar going up is what stunted crypto in the second half of 2021. What happens if the dollar continues to go down? And then a week from now, everyone goes, gee, did you notice the dollar's going lower? They're like, yeah, everybody who listens to the market update is already long. Fear, period, moon. Now, speaking of moon, let's talk about Ethereum. Matter of fact, let's talk about Ethereum in a way that no one else is talking about Ethereum. We did some statistical analysis way back when that says Ethereum does well if the dollar goes down. Matter of fact, if you ever want to see ETH 5K or ETH 10K, you probably need a rally in commodities, you probably need a rally in metals, and you probably need just a decline in the dollar in general. Who is talking about that as it relates to Ethereum? Nobody. Bill and Mike on the Token Metrics YouTube channel. That's who. All right. Now, Ethereum could go to 1900, but don't we all know that? Seriously. You know, hey, good morning. Ethereum could go to 1900, and that's the market update. Come on. No. What happens if the dollar goes lower and everyone's looking for a new low in ETH and they don't get it? In other words, I always say this. What happens if the market is supposed to go down and it doesn't? What's it going to do? It's going to go up. Okay, so maybe people get hysterical and sell ETH below 2K. Well, we all know what to do if that happens, right? But this idea, okay, that a lower dollar and higher commodities could benefit crypto is not being talked about. Okay, so let's look at Ethereum and let's look at ETH correlated coins. So from tokenmetrics.com, you can click a button and say, all right, if ETH goes up, what coins can I buy that might, go along with ETH? So look what we have. We have FTX token, Cardano, Elrond, right? Things we've been talking about on the stream, right? Everybody's given up on Cardano. Interesting that could go up if ETH goes up. Now, I've got an ETH tweet reminder here. Mike, can I cut over to you? And can you give us some color on, the amount of ETH that's being burned in the system right now?
Yeah, definitely. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So yeah, pretty fun statistic here that I found scrolling through Twitter late last night. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me go and zoom in. So Bill Gates made approximately $330 million this month. Elon Musk made $200 million this month. Meanwhile, approximately 983 million of Ethereum has been burnt. So EIP 1559, this is the proposal to burn Ethereum, is essentially like two copies of Bill Gates and Elon Musk buying market ETH every day with their respective paychecks. So definitely not a reason to be bearish on ETH.
Right. So as trading volume picks up in, say, NFTs, the more volume that's traded in that market, the more ETH that gets burned. Is that correct? Do I have that right?
Exactly. I mean, with EIP 1559, Ethereum is getting burnt every day with every transaction that occurs. And according to this statistic, it's essentially like two copies of Bill Gates, Elon Musk, essentially buying Ethereum every day and holding it. So there's no reason to be overall bearish on where ETH is going with this amount of burn that's happening. Ethereum is quickly becoming hard money every day.
Right. So interesting. We talked yesterday, going back to the market update slideshow. We talked yesterday about how, you'd see these dips, right? When you get uptrends, right, in environments where it's negative or there's a lot of fear. And when you get these down drops like yesterday morning, it looks like it's going to zero. I mean, Ethereum down 6% yesterday looked like it was going to zero. Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, it's going to 1900. Right.
Well, one reason for Ethereum maybe having a downturn in the past 24 hours or 48 hours was a wormhole bridge hack that happened. Essentially, users who want to switch their assets from underlying in Ethereum to Solana, they would use this wormhole bridge, and it was recently hacked for 120,000 Ethereum. On Solana's side, so it's causing some liquidity problems for both Solana and Ethereum, as 120,000 ETH has been unaccounted for.
Right. So again, interesting that the crypto world. Me and Mike talked about this before the stream. So basically, there was a plumbing problem with wrapped ETH, and 120. Did I read 120,000 ETH? There's like 120,000 ETH got misplaced, and the protocols had to figure out how to make good on it. Now, naturally, that fits into a category of what everyone else is talking about, right? In other words, yesterday everyone's like, "Oh God, there's a problem with ETH or wrapped ETH," and then of course you have this chart where we have the death cross, right? And this is why I hate the death cross. Because everybody can see it. The media writes about it. Everyone draws it on their charts. And the whole world is looking at the same thing. Okay, now, again, can Ethereum go lower? Sure. Is there a short-term tactical case for Ethereum? Not really. But if you look at the next week, a paltry 5 to 7 days, do you want to look at what everyone else is looking at? Or do you want to look at something different so that when the world realizes what you know, that's when the thing snaps and turns around and moons? Okay, so yes, this is not a good chart formation. Yes, that was not good about ETH. Meanwhile, the dollar is going lower, okay, and ETH is being burned like, $1 billion at a time. All right, so let's think about that. Now, Immutable X. So last night, I went back and I replayed exactly what I said about Immutable X. I said, well, it looks like the bears are selling every uptick, right? But you have to be advised that if it goes above a certain level, then that could change. And then I said less about Immutable X, that you have to broaden that out across your thinking about crypto. Right? Immutable X is an incredible example of what happens when everybody goes, gee, I'm bearish, gee, I'm giving up, and then all of a sudden, boom. That's how fast it happens in crypto. Like Immutable X up 40%. Now, a couple things about that. So Immutable X has resistance at $4. I'm going to let Mike talk Immutable X in a second. I guess if Immutable X has got some catalyst and it's going to go back to its high, it would go to 8. Personally, I would wait for some sort of retracement, right? 4 seems to be resistance, right? Now, if you love Immutable X, you just get whatever dip you can, because in the metaverse, that's been the play, right? In other words, once it starts going up like Sandbox and Decentraland, you got to get whatever dip you can. However, I think with Immutable X, the bigger point is the market has just told you that when this thing goes from control of the bears to control of the bulls, it's 40%. Imagine if it was 40% in Bitcoin. or ETH. Like, who's looking for that in the second half of February? I am. I'll take the risk. All right. That's the lesson of Immutable X. Now, Mike, let's switch back over to you. I believe Immutable X was something that, we found a long time ago, and I know everyone's like super interested in on it. So maybe you could sort of give us the Immutable X cliff notes.
Yeah, definitely. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. So we did this investment report, I would say 4 or 5 months back, and it was regarding Immutable X. We really liked the project because of the fact that it's a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum utilizing ZK rollups, and it was initially created for their own game, which is Gods Unchained. And currently, Gods Unchained is one of the fastest and most revenue earning gaming platforms, play to earn wise. And now IMX has apparently partnered up with GameStop. So GameStop is very big in Reddit and also in the DeFi communities, as there's been a lot of talk of potential partnerships with Loopring, but apparently they've partnered with IMX. And another bullish factor on IMX is the fact that they're also launching their 100% gas-free NFT marketplace at the end of this year, which has close to 9,000 transactions per second, and it's fully secure by ZK rollups, which are facilitated through Starkware. So very reputable project. Excited for the potential of this marketplace coming out, as there's been a lot of hacks with OpenSea and self custody of NFTs, which OpenSea has underlying control of. So IMX is taking on OpenSea as well as other layer 2 solutions, but it's targeting the gaming and metaverse and NFT sector mainly. Some other things to note about Immutable X is the tokenomics. It's really oriented towards the development of the project. We could see here some features you get from holding the token. You get protocol transaction fees. So if the marketplace becomes a reputable one, you'll be getting some handsome rewards or transaction fees from the underlying marketplace, as well as staking, governance. And we could see here from the tokenomics, they're really oriented towards the development of this project. The ecosystem development, 51%. This is going to partnered games. One of the games that's partnered is Ember Sword Online, and that's creating a AAA gaming studio as well. So a very cool future for Immutable X. Has the potential to have an NFT marketplace, become the go-to scaling solution for games, as well as the potential to essentially become like an index play on the gaming sector if more games become or utilize the layer 2 solution that they're providing.
Excellent. All right. So a couple things I'm pulling from that. One, gaming tokens may be overvalued. So if you're looking for index exposure to the gaming sector without owning overvalued gaming tokens, Immutable X becomes interesting. At least that's, did I get that right, Mike? Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. And just the upcoming marketplace is very bullish sentiment with the recent things that's been happening with OpenSea, with self-custodial hacks of wallets.
Right. So we were talking before the stream, and the NFT market is getting so big, right? And OpenSea was not designed to be like NASDAQ, right? It's not. OpenSea is like a rowboat. It's like trying to tow an aircraft carrier with a rowboat. OpenSea it's just a website, really. Okay. So if there's a problem with OpenSea, then other solutions are going to start popping up. And the NFT market has been parabolic. We've been pounding the table on this. It's been parabolic, right? This is only going to push NFT solutions, NFT marketplaces, and metaverse coins. So when everyone's done with the gymnastics we were talking about earlier, what are they going to focus on? Now, just as a point, Where can you go on YouTube where an analyst can pull up a 15-page report on Immutable X that we wrote months ago? That would be at the Token Metrics YouTube site. Also on tokenmetrics.com. So get yourself a subscription, subscribe to the channel, and possibly tell your friends, right? Now, let's do more token metrics analysis on Immutable X. So once something moves 40%, and I've been pounding the table relentlessly on this idea of what happens when things shift rapidly from control of the bears and they run out of ammo and it goes control of the bulls. Let's take a look at what coins are correlated, means what moves together, okay, with Immutable X. There's Elrond, which people have been asking me about, right? There's Decentraland, which is up today in a down market. Engine Coin, Loop Ring, right? AMP, I think, was also in there with, ETH correlation. So you can use Token Metrics to say, all right, well, I didn't necessarily catch the 40% move in Immutable X, but what if there's going to be a 200% move in this whole sector, right? How can I find coins that are going to benefit? I mean, do you really think Immutable X is the end of this Metaverse NFT narrative? No, it's the beginning. It's the green shoots. Remember that? It's the green shoots rising from the ash. So the legacy forest fire is still burning, and that's, just let that happen. Let that happen for a week, right? Meanwhile, right, I have a friend who on Twitter who uses this term, you start hoovering up all of these coins that you like or that you can find on Token Metrics. Speaking of Token Metrics, I noticed this morning on our ratings page, we've got about 20 coins that even though the market is down, a lot of these coins, they're starting to have Token Metrics grades above 80. That can be very constructive, particularly when the grades start to go above 80 after a down move, right? I don't have those coins today. That's for the customers. But if Immutable X has not got your attention, right, then I want to keep your attention as we move forward into next week. There are opportunities out there. More Token Metrics cool stuff, right? Crypto.com, the daily index. So every day, okay, Token Metrics will give you like a coin portfolio broken up by exchange. So the daily coin portfolio today has got XRP. It's got Kyber, which is interesting, right? We've been talking about this for a while, and it's also now got Avalanche, right? In other words, with some stuff going up and some stuff going down, it can be tough to run a daily YouTube show, right? This is not a low stress experience to give you 40 charts per day, right? So I wake up and I go, gee, what am I going to do? And like a nanosecond later, I go, wait a minute, I got to go to Token Metrics. As soon as you get a subscription, you're going to do the same thing, right? If you look at FTX, right? FTX token is 20% of the index. And FTX token has been there for a while. Okay, let's take a look at Decentraland. Okay, this is an 8-hour chart. Decentraland was correlated to Immutable X. Okay, Decentraland went from like $1.90 to $2.80, and now it's doing this like really quiet correction, quietly, right? It's just sitting there, right? Meanwhile, everyone's all worried about Facebook. The decentralized metaverse is quietly getting ready, probably for a move up to 320. Now, could it go to 220? Could I get hosed? Yeah. But, you have to venture out there. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay, here's the FTX token. Now, FTX token went to 46. I was like, I love it. Then it turned around and crashed in my face. So what? Now what? Guess what? It went right back up, okay? And now it's kind of hovering just above 40. 36 is support if it gets ugly, right? But ask yourself this question. if this whole market turns around in a week, there's a coin that did well when everything else was going lower. So what's that coin going to do if the market ignites? Think about it. Now let's look at Total 3. Total 3 on TradingView is crypto market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. So in other words, it's Solana, Avalanche, Polkadot, Cardano, Phantom, Near, right? All Sandbox, Decentraland. Now, I've said that this metric has got to get above 712 billion in order for the crypto market to sort of get out of bear mode, right? Now, as it turns out, here's the truth, right? Total crypto market cap is currently at like 650 billion. If the market shits the bed, it could go to 583 billion. That's like ETH at 1900. That's everyone selling. That could happen, right? Now, what happens if it doesn't? Well, if it doesn't happen, it could go above 712 billion and it could go to 805 billion, say in the second half of February. Now you're like, wow, Bill, that sounds kind of ridiculous. Yeah, it does sound ridiculous, right? You want to have analysts in your portfolio. You have portfolios of coins, and you want to have portfolios of analysts like me and Mike who will tell you things that let you stretch your imagination. Traders trade, but analysts get paid for imagination, because if the imagination is right, then you're buying lows and selling tops. Okay? And if you're wrong, then you just get stopped out because you're going to use a stop, right? Hey, Luna. So we've talked about this, right? Crypto YouTubers are starting to get positive on Luna. That's good. Okay. Mehdi and I discussed, Luna being a buy probably around 50. And it's pretty simple for Luna. If Luna doesn't break down and go to 20, right, then Luna could turn around and go back to 80. So there are some things on the Luna chart that don't look very good, honestly. Now, what happens if it's supposed to go down and it doesn't? This is the approach I want you to take with the rest of the market. Cosmos. Okay, Cosmos never went down. Okay, Cosmos came roaring back today after doing this, kind of liquidation, stop everyone out bullshit yesterday. This is what the market does, right? The immutable X lesson. Bears go push, 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 and then they stop. And then as soon as they stop, it goes up 10%, 20%, 50%, or whatever it's going to do over the course of, say, 2 weeks to 6 weeks. What happens if the NFT price action spills over into the crypto market once the legacy hysterics are done? I'm not saying that there aren't legit problems in legacy, war, inflation, that's all serious stuff. Okay, but if it doesn't stop crypto, if it doesn't kill crypto, then crypto is going to go from green shoots to a giant tree quickly. Now, if I had told you that yesterday, I have been trying to say that, but if I told you that yesterday, it doesn't have as much meaning as it does today after the Immutable X trade. So the big question is, what's the next Immutable X? Is it Decentraland? Is it Vulcan? Is it OMG? Is it Bitcoin? Is it Ethereum? Right? Who's talking about Ethereum 5K? Ethereum 5K was assumed last year, just like Bitcoin 100K was assumed last year. Folks, this is the deep dip, deep dive. Think bullish when everyone else is running for cover, and that is the market update. All right. Poor Mike, I told him before the stream I was going to try to keep it to 20 minutes. Guess that didn't happen. Sorry, Mike. All right. Let's see who we got going on here. Let's see what we have on the stream. Okay. I think I just saw. Okay. So we got people from Eastern Europe, Portugal, Okay. Okay. Go Toronto Maple Leafs for the New Jersey guy who likes the New York Rangers. Yes, that's correct. In other words, I'm so, I don't know, I'm over the age of 35 that I was actually a hockey fan before the New Jersey franchise was built, and I just didn't switch teams, right? Always stay with your team, which is why you want to stay with Token Metrics. All right. All right, Mike. So we did some Immutable X. I think you got some other stuff. I think you've got some stuff related to decentralized NFTs. Why don't you let them know what you got on that?
Yeah, 100%. Let me go through my segment here. It's going to start off with like a PSA. Make sure if you guys are Atom holders to be staking Atom on its native wallets. I believe you have several options to do so, but if you are, you'll be eligible for airdrops like Juno Network. So this is one project I wanted to highlight to you guys. This one scored at 80%. It's going to be a smart contract based network or a sister hub to Cosmos. And what they're planning to do is, onboard, millions of DeFi users through Juno. This is Cosm, Wasm, and Ethereum virtual machine compatible protocol. So what that means is inherently this protocol that has smart network or smart contract capabilities can integrate Rust-based programming languages, so Solana, DApps, as well as Substrate DApps, which is Polkadot related. And this project, it was airdropped. 50% of its supply was actually airdropped to Atom holders. So that's one reason I wanted you guys to be sure that you're staking Atom on their native wallets. And its tokenomics are pretty top tier. The team is holding or has a vesting schedule of 12 years. So this token is not going to be dumped on your face by investors or the team. Actually, there was no investors as well. So it's a fully community-backed project that's launched within the Cosmos network, and it's planning to onboard users from Solana, as I mentioned, Polkadot, and Ethereum through the IBC consensus and compatibility that's created there. So this project, again, it was airdropped to users. It's quickly becoming a developing platform for users within this Cosmos ecosystem. We can see here they already have 47 apps being built out. So we can quickly see this becoming a value aggregator of Cosmos ecosystem as a smart contract network. And on the NFT and Metaverse play, Bill had mentioned this is a project that caught our eye this week. Let me load up the website here. Give me a minute.
By the way, as Mike does that, I'm working on a couple coin requests. So it's not going to be a huge altcoin over time, but let Mike get back to what he was doing.
Yeah, so this is BreederDAO. This project is quickly becoming the factory or NFT asset creation hub for the Metaverse. So currently they're partnered with 8 games, 4 big ones: Cyball, Crabata, Axie Infinity. And what they're doing essentially is, as these play-to-earn games are becoming bigger and onboarding millions of users, the NFT or the creation of NFTs and in-game items is almost like a waste of developer resources. So what BreederDAO is doing is, they're the go-to development platform for these play-to-earn games to create the in-game assets that you would play with. So right now you can see they have 100,000 NFTs that have been supplied. They're partnered with 50 gaming guilds as well as 8 partner games, and they've already created in-game assets for Axie Infinity, Cypher, Cyball, Crabata. So this could be like almost like an index play on the NFT and Metaverse sector within the play-to-earn field. And the partners behind it, pretty top tier. We got Andreessen Horowitz, Delphi Digital, Hashed, Mechanism Capital, and Yield Guild Games. The team is mostly their background is mainly oriented towards gaming. There's a few blockchain specialists, but the real kicker on the team is the advisors. They got Do Kwon of Terra, who's the founder of Terra Luna, and he's advising them, as well as the founder of Yield Guild Games. So this is a project to keep an eye out for. I believe their tokens launching this quarter. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. We just wanted to let you guys know of this about this project because of the fact that it could be a metaverse index play. And
right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to run through this project as well. I know you guys might have heard of all the OpenSea exploits that happened recently. So a lot of individuals who own NFTs on OpenSea have been getting their NFTs stolen outright. And this platform, LooksRare, is quickly becoming the number one competitor to OpenSea. They're offering staking rewards as well. So it's almost like a community governed and supported NFT marketplace like OpenSea, but it's quickly becoming a competitor as OpenSea's exploits have been dragging down its name. So this one scored a 77%. The team behind it is anonymous, but you can get very handsome staking rewards, and the ability to trade NFTs is pretty liquid. I believe the majority of the recent sales for Bored Ape Yacht Clubs that have been in tremendous value have occurred on LooksRare.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And if you guys wanted more information on Immutable X, let me pull up this crypto deep dive report here. So yeah, we did this report 4 or 5 months back, and it was before the actual launch of Immutable X. And if you were fortunate enough, you would have been able to essentially been a part of the ICO of Immutable X. And yeah, they recently partnered with GameStop, and we really like the project because of the fact that it's an NFT scaling solution and layer 2 for Ethereum. So the implications for layer 2 is becoming more of a theme this year. So we could see the potential of more traditional gaming companies like GameStop jump on the IMX bandwagon.
Got it. But how are the tokenomics? Are the tokenomics okay?
Yeah, the tokenomics,
or is that iffy?
So the tokenomics, again, there we can see it here. 5% went to a public sale, 15% went to private sale investors, 25% to project development and ecosystem development at 50%. So what would be concerning is the ecosystem development being centralized, but we're seeing a lot of gaming guilds and AAA games on board onto IMX for their layer 2 scaling solutions. So this ecosystem development could be a tremendous value add moving forward, because we just saw GameStop join. So this ecosystem development would be oriented and guaranteed towards the development of more partnerships like GameStop or blockchain gaming companies.
All right. So to state the obvious, where else can you go where you can pull up a giant deep dive report and get answers to questions just like that? Hey, what about the tokenomics? Hey, what are the partnerships? Hey, what are the VCs? Where else can you get that? I'm not even going to say it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch into altcoin overtime. All right. Only going to do a couple of coins. All right. So it's a little bonus for anybody who stuck around, just to show how much we appreciate y'all. So here comes altcoin overtime for February 3rd. Okay, OMG. So it did its rally, and now it's trying to figure out what to do. Is it going to go to 560, or is it going to go back down and test 375 and retest the lows? The answer is I don't know. I would like to see this have a little bit more punch, right? But after what happened in Immutable X, I have to say, if you've suffered long enough with a coin and you believe it's got a story, so we have an Immutable X story, it was a huge document. Now, you have to ask yourself, does my coin have a story like that? Okay, so I'm not seeing anything that makes us want to go to the moon and beyond, but it does speak to the fact that, you know, once bears stop, things can turn around. That hasn't happened yet in OMG. It doesn't mean it can't. Okay, convergence, CONV, right? It looks like every time it goes up to 0.007, someone's selling it, right? This is a 4-hour chart, and bears are still at it. They were doing the same. They're doing it in Ethereum. Ethereum's down 2%. It's February 3rd, right? People are selling, right, in various patches, right? Only green shoots are popping up. Everything else is still kind of burning, right? I don't want to say burning in a dramatic way, but obviously, you know, you need to see the green candle and you need to say, okay, people are willing to pay higher prices. I'm sure once that Immutable X rally took off, you had a bunch of green candlesticks on a short-term, low time frame chart like 4-hour or 8-hour. And things like CONV and OMG, you're looking for those candles. They haven't shown up yet. Now, osmosis is it's just a little bit more visually interesting. This is a very outside the box trend line. Okay, so you could make an argument that if, you know, osmosis stays above 8, that maybe the down move is over. Maybe. Okay. Big picture. Okay. This is another good example is that if you believed in this and you've lived with the pain, right? I say stay with the pain for another week. If you've lived with it for a year or 6 months or whatever, just leave it, right? In other words, if you know you made a mistake and you know it's no good anymore, okay, capital can be put to use somewhere else. But if you want to stick around and see if it turns, wait a week. All right, IOTX. Okay, this is a very common formation in crypto. So the market went down. Okay, and now it's made this sort of like upward sloping range. Now, it's not a beautiful accumulation cone necessarily. Some people would look at this and go, well, this is a bear flag. You know, it goes down and then you get this crappy little rally, and that means it's going to go down again. Well, we've already discussed that, right? We already know that. So if I wake up tomorrow morning and I go, oh, look, it's down 10%, or the inflation number comes out and everyone's running out of buildings screaming, oh my God, the sky is falling, we already know that's going to happen. Meanwhile, in IOTX, it looks like at 7 cents, people want to buy it. It's actually kind of bounced off that level a couple of times. So this whole idea of like stealth accumulation or maybe waiting another week is something you may want to continue to think about. Obviously, you can get hosed if it goes down, right? But if you believe in something and you want to stay a believer, then do it for another week. You know, just know what your risk is and use a stop. Okay. All right. Yeah. So
to talk about IOTX a little bit too, I think it's one of the easiest, layer one smart contract platform to actually start using. You could actually download their native wallet and essentially their ecosystem on your phone, and you can interact with a lot of dApps on your phone and games within their mobile app. So in terms of layer twos and like potential smart contract platforms that have good potential moving forward, I think IOTX is one of the easiest to use.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yes, we have brought it up before on the show. I do have an interesting question here. Larry is saying, do you take profit after small up days like the past 2 days? All right, Larry, this depends on your time horizon, right? In other words, if you're trading something and you take you want to get a little money, then take the money, right? And say, all right, let's try to buy it back lower. The more ammo you have, right, the more confidence you can have to either, ape in on the bottom, right? If that happens after the inflation number, or, who knows if you're grabbing ETH 1900. Okay. I always say, do what makes you sane, right? If you're saying, hey, I made money, pay yourself, that increases your confidence, right? Now you can always get back in if you're doing stuff with low transaction fees. Now, what I think you want to avoid, not investment advice, is like having no position at all. Like I'd rather have a really small position, and these positions can be smaller than you think, right? You want to have something it's like, look at the Immutable X example, right? If you're like, all right, I want to have 10% of the money I would put into this coin, I want to have 20 or 10% of the position, not 20% of your portfolio. No. Okay. Just, you're going to put a certain amount of capital into a coin, you can have what I call a core position. So this will be small enough so that if everything goes down 30%, you won't be upset. Then if that becomes a winner, you start adding to it, right? You add if you win, but you gotta be in it to win it, right? That's an old New York Lotto saying for anybody out there from the tri-state area. All right, let's see what else we got. KMK is asking about Near and Sandbox. Okay, so Near and Sandbox, I'll give it to you visually. See if I can just pull this up quick. So our opinion on Near is pretty clear, I think. We've been talking about this as a possible candidate for a parabolic. In other words, if something's going to really just take off and keep going, right? In our opinion, it could be Near. Could be something else too. But the day that everyone wakes up and goes, wait a minute, why are we all so upset? Okay. So let's just take a look at the Near. Let's try the 4-hour chart. Okay. And this is what coins do for, I don't know. I think sometimes they leave everyone behind, right? How do you make sense of this? What is this? This is not in a chart book. I had people call me up, I appreciate them. They're like, Bill, I need you to teach me everything you know about TA. And I'd be like, well, what I know about TA changes every day, right? And with this market, I may have to revamp everything I do. Because like I said, what is this? Right now, what I'm going to say in Near is that we're looking at the bigger the base, the higher in the space. Okay. Now that said, okay, so the way this works is it goes down, it builds a base, and then the longer it sits here, the more likely it is that it goes back up again, right? The bigger the base, the higher in the space. Now that's catchy. That serves me well in bear markets. Okay. But look at this yesterday. This is the point I'm trying to make about what this market is trying to do to your head, right? That I'm trying to save your mind, right? Almost like Morpheus in the movie, right? Free your mind. So Near goes from 10 to 11 and a half. Everyone goes, I missed it. I need to FOMO in. Everyone buys every dip here and here. Okay, right here. And then what happens? Near goes from 11 to 1060, hoses everyone out. Now, smarter money was down there buying the dip, but it's impossible to trade these things. And it's also impossible to sit and look at it. I mean, if I wake up every day and I hold my phone on my chest and I go, all right, take a deep breath and prepare yourself in case the whole thing's down 10% on some overnight black swan. I look at my phone and I go, okay, It's only down 2%, carry on. What NEAR is doing is shaking everybody out. The whole market's doing this. And I think it's even more pronounced in NEAR, right? Shake you out, shake you out, shake you out, and then turn around. And what happens? What happens if you let them scare you out of the market? Okay. There's a difference between being patient, right? Waiting for negative catalysts to pass. There's also risk management, right? So you can be patient. You can manage risk. You cannot get too high on the highs or too low on the lows. That's what my father used to say. Keep it even, Steven, so that when it's time to pounce, you're ready. These streams every day, even though sometimes I show the same coins, I'm trying to provide variations of the lesson, particularly as the fear layers in legacy get revealed. The more fear they build up over there, the bigger the crypto moonshot can be, okay, if it turns. I mean, if it doesn't turn, it's going down. Really short show, right? You get stopped out, oh well. But if you're right about this and you've got the right position at the right time, crypto could give you 6 months of gains in 6 weeks. Okay? So the live stream is about analysis, trading, okay, deep dives with Michael, analysis of small coins. Okay? Final word. Token Metrics is telling you about stuff before everyone else is telling you about stuff, whether it's human analysts like Michael, okay, or it's our artificial intelligence, right? And naturally, we're here for you on YouTube, so don't go anywhere. All right, let's say goodbye. We have, we have Ben here, right? We have Nochi, Steven, okay. We have Javier with Mexico in the house, okay? And Ben J says, my mom still says this, right? Don't get too high on the highs. Don't get too low on the lows. I may have to tape that, okay, up on my wall to prevent FUD and FOMO at a personal level. So, Bubba, you're welcome, all right, to our friends in Romania. All right, have a good day and have a good night. I will be here tomorrow. On behalf of Michael, this is Bill Noble signing off. We will see you tomorrow.